Casey Smith raced to Oxford High School when he heard about the school shooting.
Desire to and need to protect your child just overcomes you. I mean, it was gut-wrenching. And that drive from work to where she was one of the most desperate times of my entire life.
His daughter is a freshman at the high school and was in class when they heard the gunshots.
Getting my hands on her and being able to hug her and her friend that was with her was a relief for sure. And sadly, not everybody got to do what I did.
Smith and other parents wanted immediate answers. They had to wait to learn about the events that led to the suspect, Ethan Crumbly, going into custody, a student who Smith's daughter was in class with last quarter. And I understand that your daughter has been in class with a student in custody before. Does she know anything about the student?
She didn't really know him, just in passing, and from what she's kind of told me, he was kind of one of those invisible kids. And really at this point, the focus doesn't need to be on them. It needs to be on these kids and their healing and what we can do to help them.
Prosecutors say the suspect was allowed to return to class after staff reported concerns about disturbing drawings. How do you feel the school handled the situation that day?
There's no doubt this was preventable. Whether there was procedures that either weren't followed or weren't in place to begin with, I don't know. But at this point, that needs to be answered, and procedures and protocols need to be installed and trained on and ensured that all schools are following them.
Smith says one of the 4 victims of the shooting, Hannah St. Juliana, was a dear friend of his daughter's.
Hannah was probably the closest. She was in my daughter's circle of friends, and she was silly, from what my daughter told me, and fun and just a happy person.
Now he plans to surround his daughter and the other students with love. The next steps will be to work with the school, community, and legislators to make sure they never have to lay another student to rest.
Well, some kids at the Boys and Girls Club of Green Bay were in for a special surprise today.
That's right. It wasn't just the kids, it was the organization as well. It received the gift of brand new Chromebooks, and a special guest from the Packers came to deliver that announcement. Fox 11's Katrina Nichols shows us how Randall Cobb is making a difference.
I was a kid that went to the Boys and Girls Club growing up, so whenever I was approached with the opportunity, I jumped at the opportunity.
Packers wide receiver Randall Cobb got the chance to play Santa, delivering dozens of brand new Chromebooks to the Boys and Girls Club on Green Bay's west side.
Let's open them up. Let's check it out.
The laptops were donated by U.S. Cellular, which is helping more than 70 organizations across the country this holiday season.
What I hope the kids get from this is just the gratitude and just to be thankful that someone's thinking of them and that someone's pushing to help them succeed in life.
While many school districts provided Chromebooks to students at the beginning of the pandemic, many didn't have access to them outside of the classroom. So the addition of 35 more Chromebooks to the Boys and Girls Club here in Green Bay helps with accessibility.
We noticed that the technology barrier was one of the biggest barriers that the kids, not only in club, but in the community, were facing.
The laptops will stay at the club and be available for kids to check out whenever they come by.
I think this will just provide more clean access, and then they stay here, so we know they're going to be charged, they're going to be taken care of. If repairs need to happen, we'll make those changes, and it'll just be a lot easier.
The addition of the laptops and hanging out with the kids is something Cobb says he's happy to be part of.
Just being able to share this moment is something that I'm going to remember, and hopefully you remember for the rest of your life, right?
Even if some of those kids may be Chicago Bears fans.
When have the Bears been better? I don't think in your lifetime.
Well, one time they beat the Packers.
In Green Bay, Katrina Nichols, Fox
Maybe
11
once.
News.
Or twice.
Or third.
Maybe once or twice. Well, before the donation, the Boys and Girls Club said that it only had a few Chromebooks available and some desktops. The club says this new donation will give the children a better chance to work on their homework.
Inside a simulation lab at Aurora Big Hair Medical Center.
3, 4.
Healthcare workers practice the process of delivering a baby.
Having a simulation center that virtually replicates what we have on labor and delivery, it prepares us for those unexpected, rare, but dangerous moments.
The Green Bay-based facility is one of the health system's biggest centers. The facility features labor and delivery, medical, surgical, and emergency department trauma simulation rooms.
Pretty much any patient care scenario that you can think of, we can replicate in the lab.
Simulation manager Jeannie Weisbrock says it gives staff members a safe environment to work.
Talk as a team, work through the situation, and then be able to debrief on the situation after the actual event or simulation is complete.
Inside simulation labs, labs encourage communication, collaboration, and continuing education in an ever-changing industry.
Weisbrock says the simulation team played a part in the transitions healthcare workers faced due to the pandemic.
We had to transition very quickly, and the simulation team was called on to really help teams work through different processes of entering patient rooms, resuscitating patients. We actually changed our whole focus on how we resuscitate so that our healthcare providers are safe and our patients are safe.
Dr. Stephen Sering says things are changing in healthcare all the time, which is why continuing education for staff is important.
You know, we're lifelong learners, and we just don't go to school and then go to work and that's the end of it. We'll continue to do this our whole careers.